Great. Hope the long weekend is going well, and we would have seen 3 days of leave, or any leave comes in and goes out, right? Look like, oh man, we have 3-4 days leave. We'll do a lot of things. Blink of the eyes, it'll be next day morning. You have to start the office. Days goes tighter. All right, good. So what we're doing here is people watching in the YouTube as well. Thanks a lot for the people who are continuously watching and learning things here. So what you're planning here is every week we'll be giving some refreshment classes or knowledge which will help you. One is for the certification, other could be for your further career growth or any interviews. It can help you. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk something about scope management. When I say scope, it's about the requirements, details in the project. It could be for the planned, or we call it as a predictive way, or it could be for something like adaptive way, where we call it as for agile. So let's see how these things happen. Basically, we have had this concept discussion in the classes, and today it's a recall of some of the important topics. So we'll do that. All right, with this, we'll get inside. Let me quickly check if everything is good. People from YouTube as well. To quickly watch out the stuff. All right. Oh yeah, I'm getting go from YouTube also. All right, let's go. So there's from YouTube. All right, good. What I do is I'll share some screen content and go from there. So Ramachandran, how is it going for your preparation, studies? Pretty busy?
Yeah, going on, Shriram. Nowadays, I just started spending at least 1 to 2 hours in front of the book. Early morning, that too. I wake up by 5. So
Wow.
5 to 7 is the only time I get, because during the office hours, it's too hectic. I cannot even concentrate on even a single para.
All right.
So 5 to 7, I'm spending from past 1 week. I think it will continue till the exam.
Right. Got you. I like the way you said 1 hour you spend in front of the book. I believe you open the book also, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Even
good.
now, I'm keeping Rita with me. So.
All right, good man. I'm happy that your learning process is going good. Nice to know. Okay, nice. I have 2 Ramachandra. Ramachandra, one is Ramachandran. Ramachandran, you're in mute. You're in mute, Ramachandran.
Shriram, I took my week's holiday. I started preparing. I was almost covered the topic.
Wow. That's good. So in that case, the preparation is going good for you.
Yeah, almost planned for next month, maybe end of next month, because.
So exams dates has been targeted for you already.
Yes, May month is fixed.
Okay, that's good. Nice to know the target is there. One good thing about this exam is you don't need to search too much in the internet. If you just put PMP and some subject, something will pop up. Only thing is you have to find some time and sit it. See, there are some certifications or learning. You have to search here, there, ask your friends. But good thing with PMP is before you start PEM, it'll tell, do you mean PMP? So it will give you 1,000 links to read. So it's up to us to start. Good. All right, good. So Mohammed is having something. Mohammed, coffee time, tea time? Huh? They catch up your busy evening hours?
Yeah, actually,
All right.
Learning is going on. Study is going on. I have covered 5-6 chapters so far.
Okay, nice to know.
And I'm also targeting next month, mid of May maximum. So I have to do it. So within this month, I want to finish all the reading part. And from 1st of May till 15th of May, I'll start taking the mock test, full mock test as recommended.
Okay.
And mid of May, I want to finish it off.
Okay. All right, that's nice. Good to know. And I think today I have two Ramachandran, two Muhammad. All are coming parallel to me in this. Okay, it's in a way it's good. Good to see. All right, nice. See, I'm doing this. We're doing this for a while. Like we have these revision sessions. Recently, we didn't go into much into this revision topics. So we want to restart these concepts. I would recommend people to come up with some topics telling, hey, Shriram, let's talk about this. This subject will be nice to hear. So let know over the comments or feedback. We'll also go through those content. And that's the intention. Of course, we don't want to beat it too much heavy into the subject, but it is a recalling some concepts which will help us to stay on track. That's the point. So why we have to learn this? The answer to this is, it is not about the certification. It is about your career growth. When you decided that you are going to be in management or leadership or going to be someone who's going to drive things in corporate, you should be up to the mark of the industry needs and standards. So it's always good to read something. Don't stop yourself only with a certification. Certification done. That's it. That's it. Throw the book away. In school and college, after our books, the semester exam is over, bundle it through. No, don't do that. Actually, you may be surprised. Only after certifying in PMP or ACP or SAFE or any certification, then only your learning starts. Actually, the day when you clear, that's the first day you have to sit and read. So far, what happened? So far, you did that to show to the world that you can clear the exam. But your actual learning will start after the day you get certified. Because somebody got PMP, because somebody got the certificate doesn't mean they know everything. It is something you pushed yourself to get yourself paper. A paper saying that you have it. Now, if you want to go for an interview, they will not give you a job just because this guy has a PMP. Oh, you have that orange certificate? Come here. We have 3 gold boxes for you. Diamond is there. They won't give anything like that. In the interview, some people don't like PMP. Some people don't like Agile certification. Some people don't even like certification at all. If you say you did a certification, they'll challenge you with questions. They want to see really you possess that skills. Okay. They want to prove that you are wrong even after you certify. Okay. So there are different variety of people. So my intention is keep learning. So these kind of classes are just to learn. It's not only for the examination. Okay. All right, good to go. I have a few people in YouTube also. Thanks a lot for everyone being here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share the screen and check with you if audio is good for you. I will bring some topic. I will bring some questions also. That's a pattern we do classes. Oh, man. All right, so just confirm you're able to view the screen which says project scope management. Do you?
Yes.
Oh,
it's
fantastic. Fantastic. Great. All right, good. Right, good. Nice to know this. And let's keep moving forward. Now, what we're going to do is, I have some content. Shriram, do you need a slide to talk about it? If you ask me, slide is kind of an indication to give what all we have discussed. So first, I'll talk some factors about the predictive nature of projects, what they do, and some will go for the backlog, that is product backlog, how they do in agile projects. I have people sitting here live in classes today. Some of them are working in a project where well planned. Some are getting into an agile, research oriented or challenging projects. There are some people work on both model in the sense of a hybrid model. We call it as a hybrid model. So combination is going to be there. Now it's not only for today. This YouTube video is going to be there, and chances are somebody watching this video, you may utilize it, whatever model where you are. Okay. All right, let's go to more. First thing, project. Let me quickly ask some questions here. I believe most of you are aware of what is project, but let me hear from your words. The moment you hear the word project, what pops up in your mind, or what you want to say about it?
The first thing pops up is it's a temporary endeavor which clearly have a start and end. So project starts and project ends at a specific duration.
Okay, that's interesting. When they say temporary, do you think it's a short duration?
It depends on the scope of the requirements in the project. Sometimes I have even handled a project which went for 5 years.
5 years, yeah. 5 years is called temporary.
Even 5 years also temporary in that case.
Okay.
In our lifespan, 5 is really temporary.
Even our life itself temporary, is it right? even if I'm going to live 95 years, 95 years is temporary.
It's a project.
Absolutely correct. What you said is right. In the sense, somehow our brain is programmed like that. Whenever you hear the word temporary, we sometimes think that it could be a very short duration, right? But yeah, it is short duration for that project. If you talk about a metro construction work, a metro train construction work, any country, it can take years of time, but still it is a temporary in that level, right? That's how it is going to be. Let's say there is a stage show is going to happen. There is somebody is going to do a dance program. Let's take Michael Jackson, who was there. Okay, stage program. It could be 3 hours. He's going to dance on the stage. It's very temporary in nature. That stage program is a project. That 3 hours dancing is one part of the project. Am I right on that? Is it a one part or it's only that's a project? The answer could go, it's a one part of the project, because for that you have to do a lot of planning work, get the stage ready, music instruments ready. Then he would come there and dance for 3 hours, sing for some time. But that's going to be a project. So the 3 hours plus number of days is spent to make that stage ready. It's all together as a project. Now, why this question about the project here is to understand a project better. What is the first thing needed to understand the project better? What is the first thing needed? What is your view?
Requirements, scope.
Details. Yeah, obviously, right? Details. Will you ask details to anyone? Somebody says that, hey, I want this. Hey, can you give some more detail? Someone says, I want to go for a travel. I want to reach to some destination, or I want to go for a spiritual travel, or I want to go for a hobby, some travel. The first question you will ask, where do you want to go? Do you ask this question? Somebody says, the first question is, where do you want to go? And then sometimes we'll ask why you want to go and how long you're going to be there, how you are going to spend money, how you are going to. If you watch a lot of questions, people may not like you if you ask these many questions. I said I'm going to travel. Why are you asking these many questions? But here, it's a combination of people, combination of mindset, combination of a shareholder's money, combination of a government initiatives, combination of legal formalities to be completed. So if you go, multiple things are there in this world to make a system to move forward. We are living inside a system. Do you agree? The whole world, we are living inside a system. A big machinery is rolling. Big machinery. The whole world is rolling by a machinery by sun. Of course, the sun makes the whole planet to move. In this planet, a lot of machinery is happening to eat, sleep, and survive. So for this, we keep doing different ways of activities. One of that is going to be your project, what you do. Now, to do this, every project needs some sort of detail. Now, this detail collection, details organized and keeping in the right form, and details tracking is going to help a project management really well. So, Shriram, do we need to really spend too much of time on this? Why don't we just like that take the detail and start? You can ask me the question. Let me put a simple question to you back again. Do you think a project can be started haphazard because we have time and money? Can we do like that? Since we have time and money, can we start just like that? Or we need some detail, at least base level to start? What is your thought? Okay, Ramachandran says no, you cannot do that. Okay, need details. Okay, okay. But what if somebody says, I have a good amount of money, good amount of time? Still, do you feel that we need some detail? What is your thought? What is your thought there? All right. We need it. Still, we need it. Okay. Okay. Even though you have time and money doesn't mean that you can just put things pass on. We need some details. Now, why the detail is, we sometimes first call it as a vision. The vision outcome. In the screen, what you see could be there is a picture there, could be somebody doing construction work. Okay, the project. Now there is a vision needed. There is a bridge going to come there. It was an open land, nothing is there, but a bridge going to come. There is a vision. Following the vision, you will have some milestones. And with the milestones, you will take each milestone area where you want to achieve and little detail on that. Some of the projects, we go a little deep inside and collect the details. Why we have to collect the details? The reason is, the way you collect the details help you to be a little more organized to do the work. If not, the work is not going to be happen on time with money. Usually in project management, we use three factors. Let me see if anyone aware of these three factors. Anyone aware of triple constraint? Have you heard about triple constraints in project management? There is something called triple constraint, which talks about.
Yes, Sriram.
Yeah, you hear about it, right? What are the three things? Can somebody tell me?
Cost, schedule, and scope.
Very good, very good. Scope. One is schedule. One is cost. All right, good. What they mean by triple constraint here? The reason is, all three are interdependent. If I touch the scope, it will impact my timeline of the project. If I touch the cost of the project, my requirement and schedule get impacted. Each one has its own impact if you touch one of the other. You can question me back, is this only for predictive project? Let me put you back the same question. Do you think even today in any model of the project, do you think this three has impact? Do anyone feel still we have this impacts even today? The answer would be yes. But the proportion may be.
नहीं आया यार मैसेज नहीं
All right. So now, how this works out? Let's see some factors about predictive nature projects. In predictive nature projects, what we are talking here is, first thing, you have a proper scope management plan. As the project is very huge and well planned, you should have a clear strategy of how we are going to handle the scope of the project. For handling the scope of the project, you need to draft a plan. How do you write it? How do you follow that? How do you organize the work? That all be written down in the scope management plan. Followed by collect the requirements. Once you collect the requirements, you elaborate the requirements, define the scope, you elaborate, go detail inside what it is. And then you create a WBS. I think this is a very famous terminology, work breakdown structure. Many of you would have seen this. It could look something like this, a structural way of hierarchical decomposition. Now, someone sitting in this room, you may be from Agile background. You may question back, in Agile, do we do this? Do we need a WBS? The answer could be no, straight away. But there is a different form of WBS happens in Agile also. They use a different wordings, different terminology, different timelines. The timing is very important here. Here, when I do a bridge construction, or I'm talking about a music show by Michael Jackson, these are well-planned work. If I don't plan properly, it can collapse. So I have to take all the work properly. I have to do hierarchical decomposition so that I can take each packet and deliver it properly. Right? I'm talking about construction now, talking about a surgery going to happen, or a Michael Jackson going to dance. I had to have a proper WBS created because I should know each compartment has its time, money, and effort to be completed. When I go to Agile, it slightly differs there. You don't need to push everything at the same time. You don't need to get everything on the first day. The reason is it's going to be an iterative way or iterative way. We'll talk when I go deep inside. But for now, you have to understand that in a productive project, you use this basics to get the ground clear before even you start your other set of activities. We call it as a scope baseline. Have anyone heard the term scope baseline? Have you heard the word scope baseline? All right. There is something called scope baseline. Shri, what is baseline? The wording baseline. The baseline means here we are mutually agreeing. With whom we are mutually agreeing? Whenever you see the word baseline, you are mutually agreeing with someone. With whom you are agreeing? Imagine you are a project manager, a project team. With whom you are agreeing on this? When you say baseline, what is your thought? All right, somebody says customer. Nizam says customer, with the customer. Right? Could be from the people who gave you the requirement. It could be the end user, it could be the customer, it could be a third party. For you, there is a receiving person, the customer for you. And that party comes and tells you, yes, at this point of time, this is the requirement we want. Usually what we do is we spend good time in collecting the requirements. Collecting requirements is a stage, very important stage. What they do here is they sit and collect and doc more detailed information. I'll give more detail as we go a little down. But for now, understand, requirement collection is a part and parcel of project team. Now, if you go to a predictive nature of projects, there will be a separate segment where specialized people, we call it business analysts or business knowledgeable people, with the project manager, architects. These all teams sit and talk with the customer, understand the details, show them the prototype, talk about the benchmark in the market, do workshop with them. So there are multiple ways they collect the detail. The reason is, here the customer is going to give the requirement and go home. Sure, what do you mean go home? They're not going to sit with you all the day. Customer has other work to do. He or she or a team of people will come to you. Hey, Shriram, come on, man. This is a requirement time. We will sit and talk for 1 week. 1 week completely, they'll give all the details. And that's a time your team has to collect as much information as you can. After that, they will tell, okay, guys, we'll meet you after some weeks or months. They're not going to be with you all the time. If a government is giving a tender, telling that there is a bridge work to be done, a hospital to be constructed, a public school to be constructed, they'll give the work, tender is given to you, detail is given to you, then they say, thanks guys, complete the work, come to me, and we will validate the scope. What is validate scope? We will see, have you completed what we asked for? In between journey, they may not be regularly with you, but here and there they'll be with you. They'll come to you. They'll come and check how things are going. Inspections will happen. Those things will happen. But they will not sit with you every day, like what you do in Agile project. This is where Agile and non-Agile differs very heavily. In Agile, you will get always somebody sitting with you. Whereas in non-Agile, they give the work, they go off. Many of you in this room can agree with me. Yes, I have also seen some projects where managers should be the point of contact, would receive all the information, work with the team, make things ready, and then contact the customer. We have done. Have anyone come across like this kind of projects in the last few years of your life, where you won't have your customer all the time with you? They'll only give the work and go away. Have anyone come across like this the last 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years? Anyone here? I have seen few. I have seen few. Oh, Mohammed says yes. Mohammed,
Yes,
is it recent or even see past? What is your feel?
So far, these construction projects are going like that only, like predictive way.
So how frequently you feel the customers are reaching out? Even though we call it as a predictive way, do you think customers come in between and talk to people and understand what kind of work is happening? Do they?
Yeah, we will have a meeting, like monthly meeting, progress meeting, management meeting, but they will be only seeing the outputs, not like in Agile method. We means Agile methodology. We are sitting daily with the team, product owner. But here it's not like that. They'll be just focusing the output in a while in a month or like frequent time only.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Thanks for the point. Appreciate it. All right, great. So now, what we are seeing here is about a predictive nature of project where we collect the details and do the work. And when the work is getting ready, what will happen is there is a place called validate the scope. When you say validate the scope, here customer plays a role. We call it as UAT. If somebody heard about it, have you heard about UAT? The term UAT.
Yes, yeah. User acceptance test.
User acceptance testing, right? UAT. Yeah, perfect. Even any industry, you can see this word UAT. Now, what is happening is user acceptance testing. What is you? You is a user, the guy, the person who gave you the requirement. Initially, we have something called project charter. After project charter, what happens? We do something called requirement understanding from the customer. Very good. After you get the requirement as a raw content from the customer, what happens? Then from here, we define the scope. And then it becomes a project scope statement. It will become a project scope statement. From here, what happens? The next stage would be WBS, work breakdown structure. All right. Now, when we have this project scope statement and WBS, this consists something called acceptance criteria. Have anyone heard this word acceptance criteria? Have you heard the acceptance criteria wording? Right. So there is something called acceptance criteria, which means when they give the requirement, when I say they, the word, it goes by the people like the customer. When they give the requirement, they also tell that when the work is completed, there'll be some bullet points. Point number 1 should be, point number 2 should be, point number 3 should be, point number 4 should be. This is also applicable in Agile in the form of user story. I'll come to that in a few minutes. But for now, acceptance criteria tells when a bridge is completed, this is to be done. When a doctor's surgery is completed, this is to be done. When the Michael Jackson have to dance on the stage should be all those points. Now, what is happening here is when you communicate a signal to the customer, hey, work is completed. Now, what is done here is the customer is going to verify. What they are going to verify? They're going to verify the work what we completed against what? Against the acceptance criteria. We call it as acceptance criteria. The work completed is equal to acceptance criteria. When these two matches, it means work is properly done. Why? Because this is a safer side. Acceptance criteria is a safer side for both the parties. The reason is the work would have started in the year 2020. The work would have completed in 2023. In this 3 years of time, technology would have changed. Market expectation would have changed. The people who gave the details would not be there. Government would have changed. Whatever changes, you cannot keep on manipulating things in many projects. You have to stick to the point. For that reason only, we have something called scope baseline. We have something called WBS. So that when the work gets completed, you cross-verify the acceptance criteria. Maybe you can add 1 or 2 acceptance criteria, remove 1 or 2 later point of time. But that doesn't mean you can change everything altogether. You cannot. Like you're talking about a hospital construction. You cannot just like that change here and there. It needs its own time. So you have to take this acceptance criteria. Customer will validate it. If I take a hospital, a public health hospital as a project, and a big construction took 3 years to complete it, the government body will come and check against acceptance criteria. Have they met this? Have they met this? Have they met this? Once everything is properly done, then they'll go for good. Let's close this project. Now, in this, the requirement gathering part plays a vital role. If I don't understand the requirement properly, if I don't declare the acceptance criteria properly, do you think validate scope will be effective? What is your thought? Will it be effective or ineffective?
Ineffective.
It will become very ineffective. This is one of the reasons of many project failures. If I say, let me put in the classes I used to tell, how many percentage of projects fail in the world? So any rough percentage comes to your mind? How many percentage of projects fail in the world generally? Any percentage out of 100%, how many percent fails? 50%. Nizam says 50. Okay. 30% fails, Mohammed says. Okay. Any one number?
Yeah, 70.
70%. Okay. More than 75% of the projects fails. My Jay is going extremely, says 90% fails. Jay is unhappy. Okay. Nearly 75 plus percentage of projects fails. When they say fail, it did not meet the time, requirement, customer satisfaction, risk factor not properly handled, some other failure happens. If they go back and see the detail of why it would have failed, one of the reasons discussed here is the requirement is not properly understood. Do anyone want to agree with me? Could be the reason. If we don't understand properly, it will fail. The answer is absolutely yes. If you don't understand it properly, it's going to fail. So Srinama, what is the problem here? Do I need to put the blame on somebody? When I tell that customer did not give the requirement, it's not my mistake. My business analyst new to the company. I'm a new project manager. Yeah, now only I got certified PMP. Do you think these reasons will help you? The answer is no. It's a collective effort of people. You may be new, your business analyst may be new, but the world does this process hundreds of years. So when something is happening for hundreds of years, you have always a reference to check. In your corporate, there is a way to check this. What is that? Do anyone remember it? In the classes, I would have said this. Do anyone remember in your corporate, you have a reference to check? What is that? Starts with O, O, O. Remember it? OPA. Have you heard about OPA? Ramchandra says yes. What is OPA, Ramchandra?
That's the organizational process assets where we actually record whatever our previous project findings are there. Sometimes the resources and whatever the requirements that have come up, even the RTM requirement traceability matrix also recorded for some of the critical projects there. And that's being maintained usually by our PMO to give the history of future for the future projects to estimate or something like that.
Very good, very good, very good. Do you think that will help us even if I am new to the company, even customer doesn't know the process in place? This OPA or your PMOs or the standard followed in your company, that will be a benchmark which is going to not let you down to maintain the system in place. This is the reason some of the big companies have a proper system in place. They have a portfolio, program, projects. Sometimes you feel that why these many people are here, why these many structures are here, right? If you go to big companies, you'll be surprised. Why these many people are sitting here? For a surprise, the reason is there is a background behind this. If I don't do like that, what will happen is we will fall down the gap. We are a little careful enough, telling that if you don't follow a process in place, you may fall down by delivering the value, not delivering the value on time. Okay, quick things about the collecting the requirements. As you see the screen, collect requirements can be multiple tools. You don't have to start with one. Multiple ways of collecting the details. You can talk with the people, work with the people, take the benchmarking, do the prototyping, whatever form you get it, but get it correctly. In the name of collecting too many details, you should not get diluted. Yeah, that is a way of collecting. Now, collecting is one portion. I think you are aware. I think I gave some detail about define also. The word define is elaborating, detailed. Do you see that? You can see the word here. Do you see the word detail? You get a detailed description. As I said with your friend, you're going to tell, hey, I'm going for a trip to some place somewhere. The moment you say he or she is going to question you, where are you going? When are you going? Are you going with family or alone? Is it by flight or a train? Is it something this? Is it something this? What is happening here is he or she is trying to understand more detail. Why they want to understand the detail? If it is a good friend, he or she will suggest you ideas. Of course, some people don't like tell that if you go travel, you go for travel, I could not go anywhere. That's a different kind of friends are there. We talk about the good friends. Good friends will guide you. When you give the details of your travel, he or she will tell you, oh man, you're going there? I know a restaurant there. I know a hotel there. I know a booking agent there. And he or she will tell, travel on this season, it will be nice for you. Do you feel that when you give a detail, somebody can give you alternate options? Somebody can give you better way of doing things. Is it happening? Have you realized it? I don't know how many of you did that with your friends. If you did that with your friends, you'll realize that some sort of alternate way of doing things also can be discussed. Now, why we're discussing here? Because defined scope is considered as a very important segment of predictive nature of project management, where we go detailed. The reason is to see the better way of doing things. They call as product analysis. We go a little deep inside, we get more details about it. For that reason, you see a paragraph below here. The paragraph here talks about in Agile what they do. We go in a iterative way or iterative way. I'll talk in a few minutes, but for now, just understand the same thing what you get here, requirement is got from the high level. Now we have to go a little deep inside. In a predictive project, we'll sit and do in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. In India, now they're planning for a bullet train or metro concession. All this happening. They would have started this work 6 years back, 4 years back. They went very detail. Then the work starts. What you see external work happening here could be 2 years, but actual discussion would have started 6 years back. But in Agile projects like an IT company or different way of IT, non-IT related Agile projects, what they do here is they may have a high level scope, but they don't want to detail it everything in upfront. So they take the one portion of the work which is very important to the customer and detail that only. It's called progressive elaboration. Have you heard about the term progressive elaboration? Have anyone heard the term progressive? Oh yeah, Mohammed says I heard of it. So what is your thought, Mohammed or Santosh? What is your thought about progressive elaboration? What could be that? Any ideas on that? Anyone want to talk about progressive? What it is? As per you.
As per me, progressive elaboration is nothing but the continuous improvement.
Very good.
Maybe we are giving stage by stage deliverables to the customer, where each deliverable will be of what do you say, the appreciation of the previous one.
Right, very good. I like that explanation. But why do you feel we have to go progressive? Why can't we sit and do within 2 weeks and close all the details? Why I have to go progressive?
Nowadays, in the current projects, what we see is the requirements is not so clear, Shriram. That's why we do in some of the projects. Maybe customer says something on top of his mind and we start working on that, but later it turns out to be something else.
It's something like this, right? We ask on a weekend with the family, spouse, can you make this dish? While he or she is preparing, again we'll ask, can you do this also? Right? Sometimes back of the mind, something is there, but we will be asking something else with them, possibly. I like one point Nizam is putting here, feedback. Do you agree feedback is very important in some projects? Right? So some projects, what is happening here is, we get the detail as we get as a feedback. When we do some portion of the work, they utilize it, and from there they give a feedback. Right? That is not possible in some of the projects, and we appreciate all the answers here. Let me complete a little bit on the predictive nature, because in predictive nature, there are certain things we plan properly. We create a work breakdown structure in a hierarchical form and make that as a work happening. Maybe that milestone achieved, maybe that phase completed, we can show as a demonstration to the customer. If I take metro construction work as a predictive nature project, phase 1 is completed. What is phase 1? Could be 10 kilometers stretch of work completed. Now we will take this and demonstrate to the customer could be the government body. Show them that, hey, a train could run from this point to this point. Now they verify it and then approve that, yeah, it's good, we'll take it up. But here, they give feedback. We're going to make some corrections, mistakes will be there. I'm not saying no. But I cannot invite the government body then and there, which will confuse the system. So now what's happening here is, if you watch out here, charter, if you see the charter, usually we call it as a goal or somebody's dream or somebody's vision. And this turns to the project charter, the initial start, right? So now project charter will have mostly high level details. You can see the word high, key stakeholders, and some of the named people here. Mostly summary, high level, overall. It's a 2-page document, 1 page, 2 page. From here only, we got something called a requirement document. From requirement document only, you got a WBS. Then you have a scope statement. You have acceptance criteria. In the classes, I would have given a clue. It's very important to know what is acceptance criteria and what is exclusions. You may be in any model of project. It could be predictive or adaptive. If you are not clear with this, I will tell you, your life will be so tough in project management. Either you or your team members, two things will be very, very, very clear. One is, when a work is getting completed, what makes to tell it's completed? Only meeting the acceptance criteria. Bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4. And exclusions. Exclusion is important. Very, very important. You should know, or your team should know, these all we will not do. Have you heard about do's and don'ts? If you go to new country, new place, new company, the first thing is, what are do's and don'ts? Would you ask them? If you want to know do's and don'ts, same thing in project management. You should know what is acceptance criteria. You should know what is exclusions. Exclusions are which are not part of this deliverable, which is not part of this release, which is not part of this project at this point of time. Why at this point of time? Could be the reason: time, money, risk, some factor. We said we will not do it now, but that should be properly monitored and recorded. The reason is, this will hit you back when you deliver it. Exclusion, you should not think in your mind and keep with yourself. Okay, I know that is excluded. Only I'm knowing will not help. Everyone should know that. That's very, very, very important. Even today, I'll tell you, many managers struggle in project management if they don't understand these two things properly, if they don't discuss this with the customer properly. Because customer will imagine something will happen, and we will imagine something will happen, and it's a problem. For example, I will deliver by May. I will deliver by May month. Now, what is in your mind when you say May month you deliver? What date will be in your mind when you deliver? I will think
end of May.
May 30. Customer side, when you say deliver by May, what customer will think?
Should be 1st of May.
1st of May. Simplest dialogue. I deliver by May. One thinks May 1st, you will think May 30. Do you think this is the simplest thing will bring confusion with the project? Answer would be yes, it will happen. This is very common, right? When somebody says by May, I would think it's May 30 for me, because I'm a guy who's doing the work. The receiving party, May 1st, early morning, they will ask you when you will deliver it. So anything and everything should be properly clarified. Don't hesitate. Don't feel shy to ask questions. Let them feel bad, that's okay. But you are clear on what it is. When you ask more questions, there are many things get clarified before even you start the work. There are many people don't ask question at the right place. Later, you have to give number of answers in different meetings. Would you like to give more answers, or you want to ask more questions? The best thing is asking more better questions. If you ask more better questions, many things get resolved. No one is brilliant here. No one is poor knowledge here. Everyone has equal knowledge. Only thing is, when they say some requirement to you, maybe top of the mind that is there for them. Why don't you ask some couple of cross questions to understand, is this requirement correct? When you ask these questions, only they will think, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let me rethink and come back. Some of the requirements will not even come to your table when you ask the right question. So main thing for the management and leadership or team handling is asking the right question at the right time. But for that, you should not be a person. Have you seen some people in office, town hall? They are meant only for questions. Have you seen these guys? Always they'll come well prepared with the 2-3 questions to disturb the whole meeting. Okay. I'm not talking that kind of people. I'm talking about the people who really understand the sense or importance of questions. All right, good. Let's take one question. A very simple question. Let's see your mind understanding. All right, I'm seeing some people in YouTube also. YouTube people, you can put your answers in the chat. Shravani, you will get help from Rahul. So probably he'll reach out to you in some time and give some details. Okay. You can put your answers in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing answers are going with C here. Okay, I believe this question should be a very easy question. One thing, if you observed, which of the following is true about a WBS? The true factor here, they want to understand. Do you get a sense of what is WBS? It represents all of the work that must be done on the project. In a well-predicted project, they try to bring all the components inside. You can question me now, hey, Shriram, just now you said, even in predictive project, there will be some progressive elaboration. Even though I know it's a hospital construction work, not everything is known immediately. Certain things I need more clarity a little later at the point of time. For example, in a hospital, I want to keep a operation theater related some details. That work, still I don't have a clarity. Do you think, even though I don't have much clarity about the work, can I add that as a work package in a WBS? What is your thought? Is it possible? Can we add that portion of work as one of the work package, operation theaters? I can add it. Later, I can elaborate it. You feel that it's possible? Is it possible? The answer is yes, it is possible. So in WBS, what is happening here is you have a hierarchical decomposition of boxes with the work packages name. It doesn't mean all the packages should be elaborated. Some of them, sure, I will not have detail. I will do later. Very important things right now I have. Some of the things I need clarity as we move forward. And that's going to be progressively elaborated. Few portions definitely will be to be elaborated later point. It's also possible in predictive nature project. Don't think that because it's predictive nature project, every line to be written down. No, you cannot do that. I'm in the industry for some time. You are in the industry for some time. I am sure you will need some detail later point. So the answer goes to C. I saw some of them giving other answer also. Okay. See, the answer is looking for your understanding about WBS. Your understanding is it says all the details about the project will be there. All right, good. Let's go ahead and move. All right, that's the C's answer. Now, I think I gave a clue about the validate scope. It's about user acceptance testing. Let me ask the question back to here, people sitting here for a long time in a different kind of project. So what do you think about validate scope? Does it happen regularly or does it happen only end of the project? What is your thought? Is it regularly or it is end of the project? It happens regularly. Okay. All right, that's good. Interesting. So now what happened is there is a question now. Can this happen very frequently? The answer is yes, it can happen. It depends on the project's model, depends on the customer needs. So now what is happening is validate scope most of the time happens as a milestone is achieved, as a segment of phase 1, phase 2 or something get completed. There is a stage which we discuss with the customer. We will give a quarterly release. We will give a phase 1 release, phase 2 release. With the government authority, you would have said, in a hospital, we want to have 2 buildings to be completed. Okay, one is for cardio-related hospital factor. One is about the general outpatient-related building. We would have given to the government that outpatient-related building will be done in 1 year of timeline. We will release it as first, and this will be validated scope completed. After validated scope, even customer can start coming. I mean, public can start coming when other construction work will start phase 2. Is this possible? What I'm talking is possible. Yeah, it's possible, right? You can go for it. You can go for doing this kind of work activities. At the same time, there are some projects where you have to wait till end of the completion. Let's talk about a doctor doing a surgery. What is a doctor doing surgery? A doctor going for some transplant surgery. A surgery can go for 8 hours of time. Now, how do you know it's everything is good? Doctor will tell that. Let the surgery get completed. We need a week of time to see how the patient body is responding. Because your doctor surgery is a project. Of course, it's a project. It has its own timeline, right? So you have to go through the process. You have to wait for it and get it. Or you are asking in your home a modular kitchen to be done. The very famous project of modular kitchen. A modular kitchen will take maybe 2 weeks of time to complete. How do you validate the scope? You go and check all the bullet points. This is all completed. It's good. Now, depending on the project model, we decide what is going to be for the valid scope, right? All right, very good. Let's go a little more. Now, one point I want to convey when you talk about predictive projects, still I'm in predictive, adaptive, I'll talk in a few minutes. Control scope is there. The moment you see the word control scope, are we going to say no to customer whenever they give a requirement? Is it the meaning when they say control scope? What's your thought? Okay. No deviation, isn't it? Okay. No deviation. There is something called scope creep. Have you heard about the terminology scope creep? Going away from what you have to do, or unwanted details keep coming inside. Yeah. So now what is happening here is control scope is a process of checking, are we delivering what is being asked for? Are we going out of the track? See, this class is today meant to talk about scope management, but I should not talk something about schedule or cost, something else, right? I should be inside that. You're trying to see how much you can be inside the scope or vision of what to be done. And this regularly happens to check. When I see about the project, somebody was telling here, right? We have a project which goes for 5 years of time. And longer duration of the time, chances are high amount of creep will happen. New people coming inside, new technology, new things. This will deviate the whole vision. We'll be a little careful enough not to deviate. But this is also a good idea in Agile projects. They want to deviate because the customer is important. If you see something, both will somewhere it will clash. That in Agile projects, they'll tell that we need new technology. We need scope getting handled in a way the market is looking, but not creep. Creep means going away from the vision. You should be close to the vision, and you should be able to deliver the value. Right? This control scope is trying to see, are we within the boundaries? That's very important, because many projects fail when they go out of the boundary. Customer would have asked only A. You will try to give A+, but actually not needed. When you do A+, you're going to spend more time, more money, new risk can pop up, new quality factors issues can come. So be a little careful on that. Let's go. I know this question popped up. Let's see people from YouTube, what they're answering there. People in the YouTube, you have something called chat box. In the chat box, you can put your answers. We will see you're able to give that answer. C comes as an answer. Okay. Do you think a refuse is a little hard, or it is fine to refuse here? What is your thought? People gave C. Somebody want to comment on that? Do you think C is?
Yes, Sriram. So I feel that even though this is coming from the sponsor, when there is a change in the original, I mean, when there is a deviation, when there is a creep from the original scope statement, it is okay to say no.
At times you have to say no, right? You can't be all the time pampering these guys. Huh? All right. I got C majority. I got 1 A also. Look for a cheaper supplier so the cost impact is minimized. Okay. There is some thought on that. There is one another answer talking about tell the team to accommodate the request immediately. Okay. One says do it immediately. All right. So let's understand some factor here. I will take the points. You have taken, the moment you see the word you are talking about the project manager. First, you have to see that point. You have taken a project manager on a highway construction project, and the execution is already underway. So whenever you read a question, you will try to see whom this question is targeting. What is the tense of the question? Past tense, present tense, or future tense? Where you stand. When you read the first sentence, you get an idea. This is about the project manager, and execution is already underway. When they say already underway, is it a past tense, present tense, or future tense? What are they talking here? What are they talking here? Yes.
Past.
Yeah, it's past. It's past continuous.
Past tense.
Past continuous. It means it started something happening now. Can we tell situations on the present?
Yes.
Past continuous. It started, but the point is you are here. So your decision is going to be for today and tomorrow. That's a decision you're going to take. Okay, that's a first understanding about something in the past continuous going to happen today, present. If you understand this point, at least your mind gets a little clear. This guy is targeting the project manager. This guy is targeting about the situation now. Let's go a little more. Now, what is happening here is somebody has to mute yourself. Sorry, guys, I'm just muting yourself. There you go. Okay, your sponsor tells you that moving forward, all asphalt should be laid down in 12 inches thickness. Here you can see it is not an ask, it's an order. Do you see that? Moving forward, all should be done. It should be done. There is no request, there is no impact analysis. Straight away start doing this. Do you think this is a good way of doing a change? Do you think it's a good way of doing change? The answer, little tough, right? We didn't do any impact analysis, man. Straight away you're telling do everything for 12-inch thickness. It's not a good thing, right? You may be a sponsor, but doesn't mean that you can tell just like that, which is going to impact the business. The scope statement on the WPS calls for 9-inch thickness. Now, somebody comes and tells, instead of 9-inch, do 12-inch. You may be a sponsor, but have you analyzed it? Have you discussed it? That's a question. Now, the question is asking, what is the best course of action? Now, always when you read the question, the last sentence can be a clear idea. What is the best course? The moment they use the word best, right one, top one, the moment the word best means more than one answer going to be correct here. In management, another answer goes wrong. Every answer looks correct only. Everything looks something good. Okay. But the answer is best one, which will put your project in a right track, which will not make your project derail. Now, if you think in the direction of your project will not derail, your project will run smoothly for a long run for the benefit of the company, following the code of ethics of PMI. Now look out for an answer. Let's go by the answer from the bottom. Tell the team to accommodate the request immediately. Since From 9 to 12, if you move, if you do immediately, will it be a success for a long run? The answer may be no, right? Refuse to alter the plans. I'm not saying we will not do. Refuse to alter the plans until the change control system has been used. We are not telling don't give the changes, but we are telling we want to alter the plan. Please do change control process. This look like a impact analysis process, looks little decent. Tell the sponsor that the work is already underway, so you can't accommodate. This is not good. It's a predictive or adaptive model. You can't tell can't. Anything and everything should be analyzed. Then only you can tell whether it can be done or not. So this also ruled out. Now, look for a cheaper supplier so the cost impact is minimized. I don't think we're talking about cost right now. This question is not about the cost, right? This question is all about whether to do this and go for the impact analysis. Of course, when you do the impact, something can pop up that can also be with the cost. But now that's not the question. So do you think C is a better answer? Because I saw some of the different answers now. You may feel C can be better answer, right? You are refusing, no guys, let's not do this. Yeah. All right. Good. That's how it is. That's how it is. All right, good. That's a good question, right? That's a good question to understand. How do you go for the thought process? All right, let's go a little more. What is the goal of validate scope? I think we spoke a few minutes back. All right, I see some people in the YouTube also. ShriLearning gave us a C. ShriLearning says B. Thanks, guys, for giving the answers. I think this is a very clear question, right? Goal of why we do this. What is the keyword in the answer? Tell me the keyword, exact word. Exact keyword in the answer. There you go. There you go. You guys got it. So the exact keyword here is formal acceptance. That's a very important point. Formally getting signature, phase 1 completed. Hospital outpatient building has been completed successfully. All right. All right, fantastic. I think we're on top of what is needed. Good job. Let's quickly talk about Agile. I know it's top of the time. Agile. In Agile, we have something called product backlog. So far, whatever we've seen here, it's not going to be new here. Whatever you saw there, you have a requirement document, you have scope statement, you have acceptance criteria, you have something about WBS. If you put everything together in one box, that box is going to be called as a product backlog. I would have given an analogy in the classes. Do anyone remember the analogy for the product backlog, which I tell in the class? French, right? Refrigerator. I used to call fridge or refrigerator as a product backlog. Why fridge or refrigerator? That's the place where I'll keep food items which is needed for next 2 weeks or 1 week of time. In Agile, even though we know that I'm going to live in this home for next 10 years, I will not stock all 10 years of food here. Why? Because market is going to change, pricing going to change, vegetables will be different. So I don't want to stock everything in my home. So I'll buy and stock whatever is needed for 1 week of time. In Agile vision, we know we want to do something big. I want to do a banking software. That's okay. But for the banking application, what can be done in the next few weeks of time? What can be done in the next couple of months of time? That only will stay inside. So a product backlog is a collection of details. We call them as features, defects, some technical work, some knowledge-based work, anything you can put inside the backlog. So backlog is a collection of work-related details will be there. What else can be in the backlog? The very famous one term is that it will be in the backlog. You all remember that. We spoke about features. What else is there? Can we call user story also can be part of that? Do you think that user story? Possibly. Possible. User stories will be there, of course. If there is a feature, below the feature, user stories will be there. I can give the example of this is Zoom. In Zoom, I'm talking through the mic here. Okay, it has a mic as a feature. Is it a feature? Of course, a feature, right? In a mobile camera is a feature. In Zoom, mic is a feature. If the mic feature has to work, I have to do at least 5 to 10 user stories to make the mic to work. User story means nothing but subtasks, small items. In predictive project, we call it as work package. Under work package, we'll have activities. Here, we call it as a feature. Under feature, we'll call user stories. Shriram, look like decomposition happening. Look like WBS is here. Here we have it. But in a short duration, we will have. In a predictive hospital construction, they'll put a big WBS. All details will be there. But here, we don't do like that. We take that portion of the work. For that portion of the work, we go a little detailed inside. So how this works? Let's see some more factors. If you watch out here, I would have given a hint now. It's a refrigerator, or I said a product backlog. It's a collection of work. What will happen is work on soon. Okay, not worked on soon. It means the high priority or immediate work will stay on the top. And we'll keep the big piece of work, which not going to happen right now. But if you see the size is huge here. And these sizes small here. It's a decomposed, become a user story. Maybe this can be epics. Maybe it can be features. And this can be task or user story. So in my refrigerator, usually I can see my mom or family members, they keep immediate next day morning what they want to take in the front row. The bottom row, you will see the vegetables, fruits item kept there, which will be taken later. So they know these things not going to be immediate, but these things are immediate. Or whatever you need for your customer satisfaction, which stay on the top, which called as value. You will hear more about value delivery in Agile projects. Here, what is happening here is the sediment of heavy items goes down, lightweight and important item comes up. So Shriram, you mean these items will not come up at all? It will come. The day when we realize this needs to be delivered to the customer, and if you decompose it into smaller pieces, it will become lightweight. The moment you make a lightweight, it starts floating up. Now it is heavy. Why it is heavy? The reason is it's a big in size. Clarity is not there. Acceptance criteria not understood. Nobody knows what to do there. When these all questions are there, it is very heavy. Fat man sits in the bottom. When you get more detail, you slice it, you slice it, you slice it. The more you slice, it becomes lightweight and starts floating up. And this one beautiful product backlog is a beautiful idea of Agile, where they made one place to store everything. For this, there are some tools available in the market. One of the two, can someone tell me which tool? Some tool pops up in your mind. Which tool they're using for this? Jira. You have Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft is there. Jira is there. And you have, what else? Rally is there. And then what you have? Teams, something. Yeah, version 1 is there. Azure is there. Yeah, you name it. But very famous in the market is Jira, J-I-R. If somebody here, non-IT people, just Google how Jira works. Go and see. First thing they'll show you product backlog. Product backlog is list of work people. Just see the work. That's it. Okay. Anyway, we're not going to beat so heavily. Understanding here is, if you see here, sprint 1. What is sprint 1? If somebody don't know what is sprint, it is a time box. A time box of maybe 2 weeks of time. 2 weeks could be 10 days of time. In this 10 days, what team can do, that will be here. From where you got it, it is a top item from here, which comes and sit here. So I used to tell that even though in the refrigerator we have items, my mom will pull out some important thing morning 6:30, and she keep it on the table in the morning. I see that. Usually when it takes from the refrigerator, it takes 2 hours to settle down. Then only they'll start the cooking. 6 o'clock, I'll see she'll put something from the refrigerator, keep it on the table. That nothing but for the sprint 1. We'll do the work. After that, for the lunch again, she'll pull something from here, keep it here. So point is, the more you get the detailed, you will start working out for a sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3. Usually, a good agile team, they call it as N+3 or N+2. That is, meaning is one sprint plus 2 sprints of details will be detailed. Rest all will be done later. It's called progressive elaboration. Why you can't do it all at the same time, Shriram? If you do all at the same time, it becomes predictive project. Because we don't want to do predictive here. We want to be little adaptive. The reason is our market is changing, right? Let's talk about the banking software, about any bank. Things that keep changing. After COVID has happened, a lot of change. Do you feel that? Anyone here feel that banking system has totally changed? After this COVID happened, the payment system totally changed. The way we do transactions changed. Even the credit cards are not highly used these days. Do you feel that? Anyone? I think most of your transaction going by phone transaction these days. Many things are changing, right? So what you thought 2 years back will not work today. What you think today will not work 1 year later. So you cannot be like a hospital. You cannot be like a bridge construction. This is something market keep changing. So you have to adapt to the changes. Yeah, that's how it works. Yes, my charge is going down. Let me put a little charge for this guy. All right, good. I know it's a little late for you guys. So what I do is quickly we'll see the last slide of the content, what it is. A good product backlog, how it should be. I would have given a hint to that. The more lightweight it starts floating. How you make it lightweight? The more you get it detailed properly. You estimate the work properly. You see the emergent or need of it and then prioritize it. The main thing is prioritizing. Can someone tell me who helps to prioritize the work? Is it a project manager? Is it a scrum master? Is it somebody, team members? Who helps to prioritize? Answer goes to PO. The product owner goes for prioritizing. Who is a product owner? This is about the customer representative. A customer representative who sits with you in your company, with your project, he or she will be the person to prioritize. Makes sense, right? When I say hospital, government cannot come and sit with me. They'll tell you want a hospital. That's it. You know the details, you collect it and do the work. But when you do a banking related operations, I'm not a banking expert. I may have an expert, but who knows better what customer want on a daily basis? Somebody should be come from the bank and sit with me. And that person is called product owner, a representative of the customer who will be in my premises on a daily basis. He or she will tell me, today my bank need this. Next month my bank need this. So the responsibility of work and work prioritization goes to the customer. And Agile makes this very smooth and people are very happy. Thank God, man. I don't know. Earlier days, manager kept the responsibility on the shoulder. Even though manager knows the domain or not, they should. That's why those days there'll be a question. When you go for a project management interview, they'll ask you which domain you know. Nowadays, they will not need more domain knowledge. The reason is domain experts will be there, who is called as product owner. Right? All right, good. Good job today. Let's take a question. Let's take a question. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, answer going with primarily B. Okay, Agile terms means putting requirements in order. There is a terminology called refinement. Okay, I'm sure most of you got it correctly. I appreciate it. Somebody don't know, just a clue for you. It's called refinement. I would have given a word that there is a product backlog, and this backlog has lightweight items on the top, heavyweight at the bottom. Now, this heavyweight to be refined. What do you mean by refined, Shriram? It means, as I said, get the clarity, understand the details, size it properly, prioritize it. These all can happen in one event called as backlog grooming or a refinement. This happens every sprint. At least you spend 10% of your sprint time in refining the work. Then only you can plan for the future, right? See, this I have for sprint 1. This I have for sprint 2. Where is my sprint 3, sprint 4 work? Somebody has to refine this, right? Only when you refine it, it will start floating up. Then only I'll get some more item which I can use for sprint 3 or sprint 4. So refinement is a continuous process which helps us to move forward. Very good. Nice. All right. Good. Let's go a little more. A little more. Perfect. Okay. One more question. Let's hit it. All right. I think this point we discussed a few minutes back about the role, who adds value. There are days we always think the project manager does every mantra is done by project manager, right? Oh, those things have been dismantled now. Now it has something with the product owner. Maximizing the value. One thing in Agile questions, keep your eye. Whenever they talk about the value, many times the value goes to these guys. Because in our example, I say somebody from the bank, let's say Citibank. From Citibank, somebody will be there called customer representative. My team will sit here. Let's say my team is from Accenture, Wipro, or some X company. I will have a team here. This team will have Scrum Master. This team will have a development team. Let's say one Scrum Master is here, and you have a bunch of team members here. On top of this, there'll be a project manager also will be there. Now, these all people can do the work, but who will talk the business? Will be from this guy. This guy coming from the Citibank itself. So they will be the right people to talk about it. So product owner is a very important role in the market now, who talks a lot about the requirements and the priority and details. Hope that helps you. All right, good. It's pretty top on the time for you guys. By the way, did you got some details today? A little bit refreshment of the requirements. Does it help you? Very good. All right, good. Nice. Good to have you all. All right, great. So this process will continue. We will continue doing some small topics. Let know what topic you like. If you're on YouTube, write your comments there. Let know what you like. We'll put for it. So we do talk about the PMP, ACP, SAFE. These are 3 primary things we can talk about. Listen to us in the YouTube channel. You'll get more details, right? If not, also you can reach out our team members. We have Rahul here. You can take the numbers and email and contact us. We'll be in touch. So the idea of doing today's class is to give you an idea how the scope is handled. Of course, there are a lot of content, okay? But what I was trying to do here is put things together so that you know that how predictive nature they handle the requirements, how an adaptive nature do. Shriram, is this, that's what the content or more than there are more content? I think this is a brush up for you to see at the high level. Now, if you open the book, start reading, you will get more clarity. All right. Anyone here recently read these topics? Recently, you read the books?
Yeah, Shriram.
Okay. Okay. How do you feel when you read it? Is it connecting with your day-to-day life?
Yeah, Shriram. Okay.
Because there are days I've heard from people, what you read in the book, what I do in real life is totally different. If that's the way, then something wrong with the company where you're working. So if you're working in a company, either it should be predictive, either it should be adaptive, or mix of both. You cannot be somewhere else, right? So if it happens together, that's a good process. All right, good. Vinitra, I'm seeing I have a question. What is it? Can I help you here, or it's a different question? You want to talk in the WhatsApp?
Hi, Sriram. So yeah, it's about retrospective, not a part of today's session. So can I ask?
You want to talk about a retrospective topic, right?
Yeah. So
I can bring it as one session for that topic, but go ahead with the question what you have.
Okay. So my understanding about retrospective is after doing the complete, the sprint is over, we just look back and see. So my question is, the action items are the improvement things that you find out in the retrospective, is it going to be like, so based on that, will the product owner refine the backlog, or is it going to be something like a very small task that is going to be added in the backlog?
Okay, good question. So first, let's understand what is retrospective quickly. I said I'll give a session for this, but for now, when the sprint gets over, a sprint starts day 1 and goes to 10 days of time. It's not a hard rule. I'm just telling 10 days as a 2-week sprint. Okay. And the end of the sprint, the first thing will happen is called review. Have you seen the word review or demonstration? This is first thing will happen. Second thing will happen is a retro. Now, if I ask you the question, what happens here in review?
So review or demo is it's more like just reviewing for whatever you have done for that sprint. So you're calling up all the stakeholders and other people, or you're kind of just showing what you have done.
Okay, can I put something like this with this map for you? Here we talk about the product, here we talk about the process. Can we see something like this?
Yes.
All right. So here we are showing to a customer called as a product owner or product manager or some other representatives. Now, what we are going to show to them is so far what we have completed. They're going to see against the user acceptance criteria and they say good or bad. Now, based on this, they can go back and refine their work. Do you feel that it can happen? See, now the product is shown. Now they can go back and see whether the work to be added, removed, addition. They start seeing things, right?
Right.
Where the retro is a place, this is specifically for the team. The reason is this team will sit and talk what went well, what can be improved. Now, this is more against their ways of working. Have you heard about WOW, ways of working? Wow. The way of WOW is ways of working, how they are doing things. Is there anything they can improve? Is there anything went really well? Some appreciation to be given to the people. Now, this is the way they can look at themselves. If you remember the principle number 12, do you remember the principle number 12 in Agile? There are 12 principles in Agile. The 12th principle, remember it? Anyone remember here? At regular intervals, team reflects on how to become more effective and adjust and tune their behavior accordingly. If somebody not seen that, please go back and see the principle number 12. Exactly maps with this. Here, it's all about the behavior. It's all about the way we work. Hope Vinitra answered your question.
So yeah, this is okay. So this they will kind of remember, and for the next upcoming sprints, they will see to that they are kind of not following. They're addressing it.
It's not too far. The moment the review is done, then the retro will happen. After retro happen, within 1 hour or 2 hours, they will start the sprint planning. What is sprint planning? This is for next 10 days of work.
Yeah, next for the next sprint, what they're planning to do.
Until you are a short-term memory person, you will not have this trouble. If you are a normal person, if you sit for 2 to 3 hours for review and retro, definitely your brain bring everything here. Will you?
Okay. Yeah.
This is the beauty of Agile. They work for 10 days. They do a review, retro, within 2 hours, they do the planning. So whatever you learned here, good and bad, you definitely apply here. Will you? Yeah, you will apply.
So it's just application, right? So we are not adding. Okay.
Just
application. Yeah, I have another question. Can I ask?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Actually, when we are doing the exercise, like chapter wise or like domain wise, so we got few questions correct, few questions wrong. So generally, we are reviewing wrong answers, right? There is an explanation why this question is wrong or right. So should we read the correct answers also?
When you say correct answers, means your answer is A. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, let's say, for example, I'm doing one exercise, let's say risk management, and I got 10 questions when I'm doing from the communication portal, and I got 60%. So it means 4 answers are wrong. So definitely I am going to see what went wrong and why these 4 answers are wrong.
You have to see.
So my question is, should I read the correct ones also?
Yeah. In fact, correct one only you have to see. The risky factor is what you thought correct may be different with what book says, right? So many times fluke, luck would have made you to choose the right answer. So you should watch, is this correct what you thought, and what book gives a justification? Our question paper gives a justification is mapping correctly.
Okay, so I mean this way it will strengthen the information, and it will concrete it. Because whenever we are completing chapter 30, 29, 32 questions are there. So I was reviewing only the so just to make it stronger in your mind for permanent. So better to read all, even the correct or non-correct also. Both you have to read. Then only you'll come to know where you're falling down. But when we are doing the 180 questions, then in that case also we have to read 180 answers.
Of course. I used to tell that one mock exam, full exam, will take 3 days of time. 1 day for exam, next 2 days for analysis. Only through analysis you will improve. There is no other way to improve. That's the only way. It's a painful, but it's okay. It's 10 days you're going to put the effort. After that, you have free bird. All right, good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, got it. Thank you. Bye.
All right, great. I think we are top of the time. Any more questions here for the day? All right. All right, thanks a lot for being here. It's a good start. Let's do this on a weekly basis. We'll bring some topic. I saw one topic for risk management. Maybe I'll talk about on agile risk or retrospective also. Thanks, Ramachandran, for bringing the topic. Good all, and thanks for being here. Have a great time. Catch you soon on a different session. In fact, tomorrow we have something about career counseling. We'll talk about it. Thanks a lot for being here. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Shriram. Bye-bye. Good night.